I think it's recording now.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please stand and salute the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Mrs. Conrad, would you please?
Mr. Dix.
Here.
Mr. Carlson.
Here.
Mrs. Ensko. Here. Mr. Booth.
Here.
Mr. Nimmo.
Here.
Mr. Parker.
Here.
Mr. Redford.
Here. I'd like to welcome everybody to tonight's meeting. This is our voting meeting for the month of November. It'll go pretty quickly, so we had a meeting last Wednesday. It was our work session where all these items were discussed, and we've had a week to come back with any other questions or any information yet. So like I said, it will go pretty quick once we get to the voting. We had recognition of meetings, 6 to 6:44 executive session for school safety protocol, 7 to 7:28 was the regular meeting of the board. November 1st, 7 to 7:48 was the board work session.
Tim, do we need to add in last night's?
No. Yeah, we had extensive interviews for the coaches last night with the athletic committee.
They went from 6 to 7:30.
Item 2, pride and promises.
Okay. So, one day I was looking at the paper and I was like, oh my goodness, we got a pilot. So we are honored to present our monthly award of Pride and Promise to Brooklyn Kennedy. Brooklyn, can you tell us how in the heck did you get an interest in being a pilot and how did that all happen?
I feel like I've always been interested in flying, and then eventually I asked my parents if I was able to go take lessons. They were really supportive, so I went up to Grove City and I've been flying for like a year and a half now. It's really pretty fun.
So,
So most kids are waiting for a car. You're waiting for a plane.
so is anybody get an airplane? Is that one? Better sell a lot of wheelchairs.
That's on the Christmas list.
So how does that transition into what you want to do after high school?
Eventually after high school, I want to go to like a four-year college and get my bachelor's degree in like aeronautical science, century. And then eventually like go to the airlines that require the hours I need to get to fly for like a regional or major airline.
So mom and dad, when she's up in that airplane, what are your thoughts?
It's okay until her solo flight, and then it's a little terrifying.
Yeah, when those wheels lifted off the ground, I just thought to myself, like, well, there's my kid going away from me all by herself, and like, hopefully, she comes back in one piece. And then when we saw her land, it was like 10 out of 10, buttery smooth. And then he goes, okay, she's got 2 more. And I'm like, what? She did it, and each one was better, one after another. So we were very proud, but the first one was definitely,
Heart in your throat type stuff.
scary feeling.
I couldn't imagine. As much as we want to send our kids to the moon once in a while, I couldn't literally imagine.
It was a windy day, so we didn't even know if it was like touch and go, another fun, if they were even going to have it. So we're all sitting in the car and we're like, okay, she's walking down to the hangar and have her lesson. They go do like all their pre-flight and they go up in the air with the both of them, the instructor and her, and then they come back and I'm like, she's never coming back this soon. And then they make this one specific turn that they would never make unless they were coming back to get him out of the plane, and we're like, oh my God, it's happening.
So you weren't even sure that was going to be
Yeah,
the
so
day.
that was like, that added to like, oh God, it's a little windy today and so on. I'll never forget. I remember.
Wow. Well, we do have a little certificate for you, and then Mr. Swervely would like to take your picture because we do a Pride and Promise wall for the year, and then back against this wall, we have our on the other side. We have our cumulative winners. So,
How old are you, Brooklyn? I'm 16.
Oh, how exciting. Do you have to be 16 to fly though?
Yeah, I'll see. I'll get
Okay.
So here's your certificate. Congratulations. We're very proud of you. Nick, any questions for? Okay, congratulations, Mom and Dad. Anything else for the board? You're welcome, Mr. Swirly. We'd like to take a picture on the lobby. And then you're welcome to come back for the rest of the meeting.
Yeah,
It's
we're
gonna be
probably
long.
not going. Seems rude.
Oh, sorry, Lance. No, just a quick question. I was blowing my nose, but I apologize. I didn't know if you considered or not. Is the long-term goal something in flight?
Yeah, to go be like that.
Goal was awesome, right? Better want to be.
So you going out to dinner to celebrate?
Mr. Rich bought it.
You got it. Go to Ben Franklin's.
Jeez.
Sheets, yeah.
You're going for it like too. What's going on?
When my kids were little,
It's only good for tonight.
I'd say on Wednesdays, hey, who wants to go to Four Books? They'd be like, yeah. Like, Wednesday. Who's closed on Wednesday? Okay.
Okay, I'd like to go into a short executive session for personnel at this time.
Sir, do we have to make a motion a second?
Yeah, and just mark the time when we exit and we'll come back.
Motion by Mr. Carlson, second by Ms. Frenchco. Any negative votes, any abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay, so let the record reflect that at 7, depending upon which watch you have there, 7:13, we're going into executive session. Maybe close the door.
All right.
Okay, let the record reflect that we are back in session at 7:32.
Thank you.
So, Al, we'll vote on it separately because it's roll call.
Okay.
That's all
Is that under,
personnel.
that's
Yeah.
under personnel?
Yeah, that's why I was just looking at that. Was under, maybe the whole of it's under
Okay.
personnel as L.
All right, thanks.
Can I throw me a pen off the side of that?
Oh, everybody's back.
Yep, we're all
Okay,
good.
we're missing one. Okay, item 3, report from any standing committees of the board. We did have, I think, what Dave mentioned, met with our athletic exit interviews last night, and we can give you an updates on that later. Item 4, any additions to administrator supervisor reports? Good. No information reports. Item 5, questions or comments from the floor relative to agenda items. Item 6, a motion to approve the minutes from the October 11th, 2023 meeting of the board. So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Dix, second by Mr. Carlson. Any discussion on the motion? Any negative votes? Any abstentions? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item 7, treasurer's report, bill listings and food service. Mr. Dix.
Approval of treasurer's report. A, treasurer's report for October 2023. It is the recommendation of the superintendent to the board to approve the treasurer's report for the general fund as of October 31st, 2023, as outlined below. Balance as of September 30th, 2023, $1,844,000, $95.30. Receipts during October of 23, $417,150.13. Expenditures during October, $2,064,129.31. And balance as of October 31st, 2023, $197,116.12. I'd like to put that in the form of a motion.
So moved. Motion by Mr. Dix, motion, or second by Mr. Nimmo. Any discussion on the motion? Any negative votes, abstentions, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, B, investment report is a recommendation of the superintendent to the board to approve the attached investment report for October 2023. I'd like to put that in the form of a motion.
Second. Motion by Mr. Dix, second by Mr. Parker. I can tell you, it was that one or?
We'll give you, I've been here for a while.
Any discussion on the motion?
I'm there all the time and it doesn't know me.
Any abstentions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Approval of bill listings. A, list of general fund bills, and it is the recommendation of the superintendent to the board to approve general fund bill listings for November 8th, 2023 in the amount of $55,149.39 and manual payments the month of October 23 in the amount of $1,528,439.48 for a total of $1,583,588.87. I'd like to put that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Dix, second by Mr. Nimmo. Any discussion on the motion? Any negative votes? Abstentions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And B, list of food service fund bills. It is the recommendation of the superintendent to the board to approve the food service fund bill listing for November 8th, 2023 in the amount of $38,351.78. I'd like to put that in the form of a motion.
Second. Motion by Mr. Dix, second by Mr. Kuth. Any discussion on the motion? Any negative votes? Any abstentions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And I noticed you turned your name, so I couldn't see. Board action items, item 9, Ms. Lenska.
Okay, so for personnel, it is the recommendation of the superintendent to the board, absent any objections, to accept upon all consent agenda items listed under personnel. A is approve and accept the following retirements and resignations. The first one is retirement Kathy Boots, bus driver. Retirement Catherine Bell, bus driver. Resignation Melissa Noggle, district registered nurse. Resignation Patrick Sylvester, tech ed tutor. Resignation Nicole Scott, assistant choral director and assistant choreographer of the musical. I put that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Ms. Lenska, second by Mr. Carlson. Any discussion on the motion?
I wish Miss Bell all the best. She's been a bus driver for my kids since they started, and she's been top notch, so I wish her all the best.
Any other discussion on the motion? Any negative votes?
I vote no on the resignation of Ms. Novel.
Which is just part of that motion, so he's just a no.
Any other negative votes? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries with one negative vote.
Okay, and then I'm going to put, I'd like to make a motion to table letter I, which is the school district registered nurse. I put that in the form of a motion to table that. Mr. Coote seconded it, that.
Motion by Ms. Ensko, second by Mr. Kuth. Any discussion on the motion? Any negative votes and abstentions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried to table.
Okay, and then I would like to put into a motion to accept, rescind FMLA disability leave of absence, but substitute bus van driver, which is Sherry McMurray. D, amendments to the 23-24 National Honor Society advisors, which is Anna Antuano and Madison Clark. E, part-time middle school, high school custodian, Deonta Robinson. F, assistant choreographer for the musical, Amanda Statsny. G, special instructional education paraprofessional, Renee DeJohn. H, instructional support aide, Danielle Sanderson. J, professional development workshops, Amanda Long, Dan Swerbley, and Jamie Bartley. And K, additions to the volunteer and non-instructional substitute listing. I put that in the form of a motion, please.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Ensko, second by Mr. Nemo. This is items B, C, D, E, F, G, H, J, and K.
Okay, and then the last one for,
All in favor?
aye.
Motion's carried.
Okay, and then the last one, it is the recommendation of the superintendent to the board, absent any objection items, to accept the L 2023 through 2028 collective bargaining agreement with the Laurel Teachers Association. I put that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Ensko, second by Mr. Nemo. Any discussion? Is this a roll?
Let's roll.
Roll call, yeah.
Mr. Carlson is abstaining, Mr. Booth.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. You said he's abstaining.
I'm sorry, Mr. Carlson.
Abstain.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Nemo.
Abstain.
Thank you. Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Mr. Redfoot.
Yes.
Mr. Dix.
Yes.
Mrs. Ensko.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0-2.
Motion carries.
Thank God.
They're like a tie. They're not for or against. Yeah, we have a quorum present and we have a majority of those present, so it's 5-0.
Okay. Item 10, board action items, committee of the whole. I need a motion to ratify the attached agreements with the Midwestern Intermediate Unit.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Carlson, second by Mr. Dix. Any discussion on the motion? Any negative votes? All in favor? Aye. I'm going to take item B, agreement with Edge Click Advertising. C, financial assistance for the band choir trip to Baltimore. D, adopt policy of the second reading of, yeah, as written. And item E, the policy first reading as written. Item F is our student teacher placement. Item G, the field trips, student activity trips.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Frenchco, second by
Yep.
Mr. Coops. Any discussion on the motion? Any negative votes? Any abstentions? All in favor?
Aye.
Is there any new business to come before the board?
Not new business, but I do wanted to note that we have some exiting board members. And I want to thank Bobby and Corey, and Jim and Mike for being on the board and for their service. Who did I leave out? Alan. Back again. Okay. And so I just, public service isn't easy. It's under scrutiny, and I don't know what you thought you were getting into, but once you got in here, you saw what it was. This was the board that went through COVID. And we did things that pushed the envelope that I think history has proven us right. And we're in the best interest of kids. And what I like about this board over the last 4 years is not that you had unanimous votes each and every night, but you could disagree without being disagreeable. And I hope that's something that she didn't stick around. I hope that's something that the new board picks up too. You know, like Mr. Nemo expressed opinion about Ms. Bell or the bus driver, or has opinions from time to time. It's not about agreement. We are not here all to be robotic automatons. A product of 9 is better than a product of 1. So for those of you exiting, thank you for your service. You never know. You've been out before. You might be pulled back again. But having said that, I wish you all the best returning to your private lives outside of public service.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I do have to say, you five have made my life very interesting. But it has been, it's been a pleasure interesting. So it's turned out good. I have to admit. So
that was a compliment.
It was a compliment.
You can tell he's married.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. Nemo, second by Mr. Parker.
I had a question.
This meeting is adjourned.
Thanks.
Wow, I have a question.
It's Tim. I didn't even put my name aside. That's okay.
Well, as long as he doesn't
It was
call
a
you
pleasure.
Jeff.
Thank you, sir.
No,
Thank you for your work. Really appreciate it.